r/Askreddit. What's a big industry secret that isn't supposed to be known by the general public? You use too much Dawn dish soap. That stuff is ridiculously concentrated. Obligatory highest rated comment edit. Don't tell me what I can top my flan with. That's the dirtiest sounding non-dirty thing I've ever read. Midway games at carnivals or fairs purposely let people win early on in the day. This way people carry around the prizes and advertise them for the rest of the day. Edit. Guess I should mention I volunteered at my local fair for several years. Midway game attendants use misinformation through internet forums to get people to play their carnival games early in the day, during their biggest downtime. I'm not sure what to believe anymore. Nearly every caller you hear on Top 40 radio is either an intern or someone else close to the studio. Everything is fake, especially that War of the Roses shit. Those prank phone calls are fake too. John Cena. Every programmer in the world occasionally writes a very bad code that sticks with the app program forever. Temporary fix file last modified, January 2009. If the first project I released is still out there anywhere, then it will still contain. Our printing department printed your t-shirts wrong, and right now they're filling in the missing ink spots with Sharpies. At Subway my manager never once bought real mayonnaise. The light mayo and the real mayo are both light mayo. Investigate those duckers. This is the shadiest scandal associated with Subway I've ever heard. Worse than the 11 inches foot long. Your children tell us nearly everything about what goes on in your home. Source: preschool teacher. Thanks for all the upvotes and replies. Cracking up reading some of these. A lot of people probably know that when a TV show goes into syndication that some scenes will be cut from episodes to make them slightly shorter, to fit in more commercials. What people don't know is that the show can be slightly sped up as well, to squeeze in just a little more advertising. Friends was the first one I noticed it on. They did it so much. Did the characters speak in high-pitched voices? I attended a songwriting workshop at Berklee School of Music, and Anna Wise, Grammy-winning songwriter, Kendrick Lamar collaborator, told the audience during a presentation that whenever someone magically blows up on SoundCloud or YouTube, that it's not authentic. A label will sign the artist in secret, and then suddenly boost their viewership tremendously to make it look like the independent artist did it on their own. I mentioned this in my post. Also, there are some clever tricks out there to make artists seem more independent than they are. The band Paramore was first signed to Atlantic, one of the biggest major labels ever, but their albums were released on indie label Fueled by Ramen in order to make them seem more punk or DIY. This was literally the post I was going to make. That's what happened with Fall Out Boy, and they realized how well that model worked, so they used it around Panic at the Disco, Paramore, etc. Free on Board was essentially signed to FBR, and then Atlantic bought most of the label, releasing TTTYG under it to appear indie. Paramore is a much more interesting story. The label actually only signed Hailey. They then realized she would make more sense in a band, got the band back around her, and then pushed them on FBR for the indie appearance. This is all when Vinny of Less Than Jake, FBR founder, left the label. He was going to do basically a tell-all in alternative press, but it never came out. There's a lot more to it, of course, but that's the basic Cliff Note version. Source: I know the owner of a once extremely huge pop-punk label in the early zeros. Edit: this clearly blew up, and a lot of people seem to have questions. You're more than welcome to PM me if you'd like. And TTTYG refers to Take This to Your Grave, Fall Out Boy's first label album. Printer ink cartridges are meant to signal that they're empty after a certain number of pages, even if they still have some ink left. Goddammit, all that ink I wasted. The TI-83/84 signing key, that was a real shitstorm. TL. Doctor, the public found out a way to install custom firmware onto TI calculators. TI lost their shit. I'm not smart enough for that article. Apple doesn't like it when you jailbreak your phone. Texas Instruments didn't like it when they jailbroke their calculators. Why you'd want to jailbreak a calculator I am not sure, but hey, there you go. Edit: over 100 responses saying to cheat or play games. I get it. Not sure if this is an industry practice, But a very popular online retail company in my country has no in-house web designers or any other IT staff beyond your generic networking techs. Anytime their website or backend systems need work, they simply advertise a permanent position and give the job of sorting out whatever they need done as a trial for the candidate. Once completed, they then inform them that the position is no longer available and send them on their way. They've been doing this for years. Edit. Well, that escalated quickly. Name and shame, so us devs can tell them to go swivel. Edit. This comment has enough exposure to now let me ask an unrelated question. I've got a plumbus. A mate got it for me. I've got no idea how to clean it. I'd also like to know a bit more about how it was made. The best way to deal with a request like that from a web company is to install a shutdown code into the software you are creating that automatically turns the software off or deletes it once a certain date is passed. If they hire you, you just remove the switch and proceed as normal. If they are just looking to screw you, they'll pull the fast one and be shitting their pants once it all goes kapoof. Protect your work. Edit. I'm getting a lot of PMs screaming that this is illegal, and I think the issue here is that this is being viewed different ways. In my part of the world, if you are giving someone a trial, they are submitting work as a sample. It is not expected to be used and should only be used to evaluate their skill. It seems that in other parts of the world the phrase trial is part of their probationary period that would be part of initial 60, 90 or 120 days of their hiring period, so that the company can properly evaluate their work while paying them to do so. In no uncertain terms, should you consider installing time bombs or kill switches into your code while people are paying you for your work? To clarify for everyone reading, I am simply referring to work that is submitted as a sample, not work that you have been paid for or are receiving a salary for. Rocket science is like 90% plumbing. It's hardly brain surgery. On the other hand, brain surgery isn't exactly rocket science. Customer service text chat can see what you're typing in the box before you hit send. Please help me. The bad man is Comey, please help me. The bad man, I please help me. The please, hi. I had a problem with my order. Duck you. Is this real? A bottle of Windex is basically 95% water, 4% ammonia, and 1% blue dye fragrance. The most expensive part of the product is the bottle. So should I just go to Ace and buy ammonia and mix my own? Buy a tin of denatured alcohol and use that plus water for all your glass cleaning needs. Also any metal cleaning you need. It's basically the main component in razor cleaning station solution. Just wear gloves when dealing with it in the buff. Stuff's nasty. Edit. Lots of people mentioning vinegar. That's okay for Windows, but don't do that if you're refilling razor cleaning solution cartridges with it. Go straight alcohol for the grease breaking and evaporative properties. Do not dilute. Former Dunkin' employee here. We don't check the survey codes at the bottom of your receipt. Any random 5 digits in the space. You've got a free donut with purchase. Worked back when Sonic would give you a free Route 44 drink with a purchase. Then you got another free Route 44 drink with the receipt of your free Route 44. Such a great summer that was. Edit. Not in before 20 people say I have diabetes. RIP me, I guess. I had no clue. Ask to have the late fee waived. I literally cannot do anything with it until you specifically ask. So you have a late fee of $30 on this. Gee, that's a lot. Why is it so much? That's the late fee we have. I do apologize for that inconvenience. Well, I guess I'll have to pay it then. Okay, so your bill is $150. Do you realize how much that is? Yes, and I do apologize for the inconvenience. Well, can you do something about it? Yes, now I can because you asked. Please stop making me feel guilty that you paid your bill late. Edit. Since so many are asking, I work in insurance for business owners. I'm sorry I'm not the cell phone, bank, mortgage, hospital, etc. company. If it makes you all feel better, I'd waive all of your late fees. I had this happen with my power company. The bill was due 1 week before my paycheck, and in the summer months was always in flux, so I could never budget it properly or I would under budget it. It was my first year living in this particular condo, so I finally called up after having my service disconnected twice. Look, I'm having trouble meeting this payment schedule. Is there any way I can pay an extra amount to prorate onto next month's bill or something so I can offset the payments by a week? No, but we could just move your due date back by a week. Splug. Okay, that works too. You can put your own asparagus in water to make asparagus water. I make my own asparagus water all the time. Smells funny though. Sister made us hot ham water for dinner last night. People in service industries don't actually care about how your day is going. Now I am pretty sure she was flirting with me. I worked at a call center doing outbound telemarketing. I was pretty good at it and it fell on my shoulders to teach the new people. My number one rule was never to ask how their day is going. God forbid they tell you. Open bracket. And where the duck do you go from there? That was many years ago. I got a telemarketing call just last week and they opened up the call with how is your day going? I decided to lay into him with the most depressing shit I could come up with. 99% of the guys girls that you see in ads selling workout supplements don't actually take that crap and are high dosing anabolic steroids. Not only supplements but also trendy workout machines. You're not going to get washboard abs by doing 5 minutes on an elliptical a day. Can confirm. Have washboard abs from doing 6 minutes on elliptical every day. A stupid amount of porn companies are all owned by the same, generically named IT company, MindGeek. Does the illusion of choice really help out porn? Only about 20% of the people working here are actually properly competent and really understand what they're meant to be doing, let alone why. Which industry? Every industry. Source. Have worked in a variety of jobs temping across a huge range of industries over the last decade. Edited to add, this doesn't really apply to any kind of position that could be better described as a vocation than a job. It feels like it shouldn't be a secret, but a lot of people just don't get it. If you find yourself waiting forever to be seen in the air, that's probably a very good thing. We get the serious stuff back there pretty dang quick. Edit. For clarity's sake, a whole lot of pain doesn't automatically make something serious. A broken arm or something hurts like hell. But we're going to take the guy who's sweating and says his chest feels a little tight before you, because he might be dying and you definitely aren't. But also don't lie about having heart attack symptoms to be seen faster. When they find out the truth you will be sent back to the waiting room again and the time you wasted means someone else in dire need could be dying. One worse than this I've seen on a lot of pregnancy forums is women lying about bleeding so they can get an ultrasound at the ED just because they can't wait to see their baby. Makes my ducking head explode. Patient confidentiality just means your name isn't in the story, not that your story won't get told. A certain agitator, for privacy's sake, let's call her Lisa S. Dot. No, that's too obvious. UUH. Let's say L. Simpson. Grocery store bakeries do not bake the cakes they decorate. That stuff comes in frozen. I can't bake you a carrot cake. On top of that, most of the baking in grocery store bakeries is just pulling frozen pastries or muffins or whatever out of a box and panning it up, then putting it in the proofer oven. We don't really make things anymore. Edited for politeness. Friend of mine is a bakery girl for a supermarket. When I worked there, I'd spend half my shift on dead nights talking to her while she puts little frozen bagels or rolls out for the morning crew to bake. They all come in little frozen boxes nowadays. If something comes in fresh, it's a limited special and costs probably 3x as much. I worked in a meats department at a grocery store and people assumed we can in entire carcasses and cut them up. All our shit was pre-packaged just like the stuff on the shelves. We just took it out and made it look nice, then charged more for it. If you asked me to go cut you an X, I'd go in the back and take it out of the package for you. Sure, we did do some cuts but nothing crazy. If you want a specific cut, go to a butcher. When a movie trailer has shots that turn out to be missing from the actual movie, that's not because scenes were cut. Those shots never existed in the movie. The trailer didn't test as well as they wanted, so the studio inserted scenes specifically made for the trailer during additional photography. Or I missed Kylo Ren's lightsaber ignition scene in the movie. The fresh chocolate chip cookie scent that can be smelled outside of the Magic Kingdom bakery is artificial. It's piped out there to draw you into the bakery. They're called smellitzers. They're like targeted scent cannons. Disney also cranks the AC up in the shops in the wintertime, so it feels colder than it actually is, and you think to yourself, man, I better get that Mickey sweatshirt or I'm gonna be freezing all day. You'd think that wouldn't be worth the cost of cranking up the AC, but then you forget they sell their sweatshirts for $75 and actually own their own power plant. Monday's chowder is the weekend's seafood leftovers. Edit. To answer some questions. Yes, this is just one example of the overall theme in most restaurants. Zero waste. Any veg trimmings, chicken trimmings, beef bones get boiled to stock. Leftover entrees are usually tomorrow's open face lunch Sammy special. Plastic containers are cut in half so everything is able to be scraped out. Second only to quality and consistency of food. Zero waste is the credo to live by. Edit 2. Never really meant this as a bad thing. More so something people don't realize with restaurants. To answer a few questions. No, I've never seen Big Short, so I don't really get the reference. Anthony Bourdain, but one of many chefs who will tell you this. He is, in my eyes, one of the best celebrity chefs out there. But any chef will tell you this. Repetition and time management are 3 key factors in growing as a cook. Yes. Corporate restaurants waste a lot of food. They are often so crazy, as well as make enough revenue from frozen processed dishes that at the end of the day it is cheaper to throw out than worry about legal ramifications. And last but not least, to the guy who said cutting plastic containers in half is worse for the environment, thank you. I'm still chuckling. I actually love this. Old burgers get put into chili, carcasses and scraps boiled for stock. Tiny bits of meat blasted from bones with a water jet and formed into a dough. It's all humans not wasting food and creating more tasty things for other humans to eat. As long as the products aren't spoiled or diseased. And I understand they sometimes are, especially when companies don't care. I'm fine with it. My sister was on The Biggest Loser. Jillian and Bob were there 2, maybe 3 days a week. They make it seem like they live there. I was a contestant on The Biggest Loser. This is a fact. We mostly spend our days working out by ourselves, or with sub-trainers that the celebrity trainers send in. Edit. Took her sister's name out of my comment. Not my place to throw that information out there. Juries can return a not guilty verdict even if they agree that the defendant broke the law, if they feel the law itself is unjust. This is referred to as jury nullification, and judges do not want jurors to know about it, even going so far as to hold people handing out literature about it in front of courthouses in contempt of court. Merlin Entertainments, the company that runs a wide variety of midway attractions like Legoland Discovery Centers as well as Legoland itself, pays most of their American employees less than Walmart. Oftentimes, employees love the job, but ultimately can't afford to keep it. This causes a near 90% turnover rate. This is just about everywhere in the entertainment industry. General rule of thumb. If the job is low skill and fun, it won't pay much because it's super easy to replace people. The other side of this same principle also explains why actuaries make so much money. As call center employee, I can assure you that all of our calls are recorded not for training purposes, but to protect our own asses. Companies have quarterly targets, including shops. So if you're buying, for example, a fancy watch, go in at the very end of the quarter and lowball them. If they haven't hit target for that quarter, then they're often likely to cut you a deal. Something they probably won't do at the start of the quarter. If they've hit target, just wait. Oh, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.